Hey YouTube, Gunham here, welcome back to Space Engineers. My next build right here, it's a little, yeah. But this is the IPV, the Imperial Patrol Vessel. It's very similar to the Crusader shown over there, but it's way bigger. I mean, it's not even close. The Crusader is like this tiny little thing in comparison. Look at that. Also, look at how few thrusters there are on that. And yet this, packed with thrusters, doesn't maneuver as well as that. Probably because of the size, and yet it's a fat one. Look at this. Now, let's go over this, shall we? First off, there's a large amount of CIWS weapons that are on it. Well, by the way, I should mention, I've switched over because Star Wars is lasers, I've switched over to lasers. I'll be uploading this later. So everything's lasers now. So yeah. It has a significant amount of lasers on it. These are supposed to be laser cannon batteries. But, you know, limitations of Space Engineers. I think there's 17, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, yeah. 17 of those, which are the fighter killers. There are not forward-facing guns, but that only has 11 compared to 17. And that is literally just for shooting stuff. It's not, it doesn't have another role. Excuse me. Should probably mention with this also I removed some gyros and added some reactors, so yeah. Now with the IPV here, main bridge is right here up front. There is another bridge. This forward section is basically all armor to there, which is just in front of there. We'll get to that in a minute. But this is all armor, so you can actually ram something if you really feel like it. I wouldn't. Now, this is a patrol vessel. It's meant to patrol the system, secure it, and deal with pirates, including boarding action. For boarding action, you actually have these, though they're tucked away intentionally for a limited field of fire. These are 60mm plasma cannons, or basically light turbo lasers. They're literally just to say hello to anyone who doesn't want you to board them. With the camera and the airlock. There's only the 2 airlocks on the ship, which is also where you board the ship. Yes, this should slant down, but Space Engineers and I don't want to take the time, but I will. I forgot. I wanted to do this, so you should know me by now. I enjoy, Oops. Oh, bing. There we go. Looks better. Sort of not. Well, I mean, it's more pronounced. I'll put Windows. Yeah, you know, Windows. This one? Yep. There. That looks better. I need to wait over the sign. Oh. That's the inverted. This one. That's the wrong way. This is where I need the inverted ones. Bear with me, people. You know me. I'm crap. So this is where I need inverted. I am always making last minute adjustments to ships. There, now looks better. It actually does look pretty good now. My apologies. And the double window means you can't really see in, but you can easily see out. Now it does reduce your field of view a little bit, but that's okay. It gives you a little more protection. They have to shoot that window, which will decrease the chance of you getting knocked KO'd with an explosive. So yes, the ship Only the 2 airlocks. Here's the rear view. Thrusters everywhere with a handful of guns. You have a few guns to deal with it. Thrusts to the back. Only those turbo lasers or light turbo lasers on the side. A few guns on the bottom here with a connector. And oxygen farms. And most of the guns are in this area here. Let's take a look in the inside of the ship. First off, I need to decrease my speed. Not that slow. So first off, you come in here. Lots of turrets for a very good reason. This is where you're going to board people, and also that is sitting there. That's a large nuclear reactor. You cut through that conveyor and cut through either that conveyor or this, and there's a big reactor right there. So yeah. Now going into the ship, look up. Hello. That's going to shoot you. It's a nice fence. Going into engineering, you know, have more guns. The jump drive. There's another gun up there. And more guns here on top of the jump drive. And then this area has the beacon along with cargo and oxygen storage. But nothing over there. Cargo and oxygen storage. Lots of that. Oh, and this does contain lots of cargo. So it does contain a lot of cargo for a very good reason. This ship is designed to assault things in the sense of being a patrol vehicle and deal with the contraband if it needs to. In here is a location in the dead center of the ship, and this is where the crew for the assaulting boarding actions of enemy ships occurs. This is where they stay. They just wait here to take out enemies. There aren't any beds, but there are a few cryopods up front. These panels here control those 2 guns on the side, so yeah. Excuse me. Going this way, there's a vent here, an airlock. Going forward, crew quarters with the emergency control unit, cryopods, and the gravity generator. Going back through and up, we have a turret. Another turret, several vents, and the command bridge. And that's literally the ship. So let's take a look at through the wall. First off, you have these cargo containers here, which you do get to see them in there. Just behind them and just below, which is just above the walkway, are gyros, literally right here. More gyros with reactors. Lots of reactors. Over here, gyros, 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 and more gyros. So looking from the bottom, you can see the gyros all along here. There we are. Now going to the back, you can see where the engines are. There's a huge area here that's empty, except for it's filled in with stuff to protect the jump drive. Also, if an enemy manages to get in, it's easier for them to go through locked doors than this here, because this wall, these what, 5 blocks? Yeah, these 5 blocks. These 5 blocks are all heavy armor, and that's it. 5 blocks of heavy armor, everything else is light armor. But it is a lot of empty room filled up, so yeah. The jump drive makes this a very good vessel. There's a couple of oxygen generators to the top, where the top bit right here. They should be right here. There they are. Oxygen generators right there. It's easy to see them here, right at the front of the ship. So, yeah. Now, as you probably saw it already, but I'll go take a better look. Batteries, anyone? It's a sea of batteries. So, it can last for a long time. This is a very durable ship and a very redundant ship. Only the 1 jump drive, but plenty of oxygen, plenty of cargo, nuclear reactors, gyros, multiple locations where you can actually control the ship, including these if you have to. Lots and lots of armor in the way, tons of guns, tons of everything. So let's take a look at this baby and see what you can do. First off, she weighs 5 million kilos, but maneuvering, and there's 5 right there, and then she stops. Now, going like this is ridiculous because of all those gyros, which you'd expect. So, forward thrust isn't bad. 5, 10. Stopping can do better. It's probably easier to turn the whole ship around and then, yeah. So, it's not the most maneuverable, but it's pretty big, so I'm gonna hit. Be extremely careful when you're nearing something else. But in Star Wars, you're not supposed to be too close, so yeah. Now, I had other guns on this thing, but I have since removed them, so yeah. She's a fat one. But she's multi-purpose. Boarding actions. You have boarding actions, you have system patrol for lengthy periods of time, and I mean very lengthy. While this doesn't even have oxygen generation. You have to resupply your oxygen somewhere. And your fuel isn't very high. But with the cargo on this thing, you can last for a long time. This, you can't. Once your oxygen's out, you're done. So, yeah. The IPV-1. It's small. It's not the fastest, but it is meant to be a lengthy mission. Well, that's meant for quick hit and runs, basically. But it is pretty small in comparison. So, yeah. IPV, good for patrolling. Catch you later.